Hi there, welcome. Welcome to Homekeepers. Grab yourself a cup of tea and stay with us for a few minutes. It's so good to be here, and we love having you there, being a part of this ministry. I talked to a viewer, I think in Oregon earlier this week, and she told me her husband likes to watch Homekeepers, and we welcome you guys. Hey, come on, we just love having you and appreciate every one of you and what you do for us. Thank you so much. I was thinking of growing up in a pastor's home, and we used to, wasn't real often, but a few, when I was just a little kid, go to we call it the jail, I think it was the county jail, and have a little gospel service. I remember singing there and all. And it was quite primitive next to the places they have today. And then I joined a ministry many years ago when I was still in music, and I sang in federal penitentiaries, and that's very thought-provoking, I can tell you. And it's sad, all the people who are incarcerated today. Well, my guest today has an absolute knowledge of what it is to be incarcerated and also to help people and to see the hand of God. And I'm going to let her tell her story, but she did tell me this. She was supposed to get 35 years and 35 years probation. I have never heard of anything like that. But God stepped in, and when you meet her, you're going to see somebody that's really been redeemed. And so she visits and has a ministry to the women's prison ministries throughout Florida. I've never been in a woman's prison before, but I kind of think it would be rather thought-provoking. It would be a lot different than being in one with all men. She's got a story to tell, and I hope that you'll just grab that cup of tea and sit down and listen to what she has to say. I'm going to join Stephanie. We're going to make easy, don't you love the word, when you're coming up on a recipe and it says easy beef stroganoff. I remember the first time I had beef stroganoff, my mother-in-law fixed it. It was a brand new dish. You know, it had sour cream and with the meat and all. It was delicious. So we're going to give you this recipe, which has been quite popular ever since it came to America. And I'll join Stephanie on that, but I again want to talk to you about the Daniel Plan by Rick Warren and two doctors. And, you know, America is a pretty sick nation, actually. We're the most drugged up of all the nations. And I think the most obese, just so many things. And here is a plan. It's not a diet. It's not an exercise program. And this sold, I think, more than 1 million books. And it was on the New York Times bestseller list. We're offering it to you for just $23, and it could change your life. I'm not kidding. In fact, my son, they had a class, group home meeting on the Daniel Plan, and it has been so very, very successful. Of course, it's taken from the book of Daniel in the Old Testament. You can have it for that $23. It includes the shipping and the 1-800-229-0059 number. You can use your credit card, your debit card, or write to us at the address on your screen if you send a check, and we'll be glad to get it right out to you. I hope you'll go through it slowly and absorb it, and could change your life forever. Absolutely true. Okay? And I've joined Stephanie over here.
Yes.
And on a program we did just yesterday, actually, she talked about how her curtains, she ordered some curtains and they went everywhere, so they're not there yet.
They'd been delivered an hour ago, I found. Well, as of yesterday, because we tape, you know, it's taping. Yeah. But yes, they had.
You will bring them so we can see them.
If you want to see some blackout curtains.
Yes, and we can talk to them.
I feel like they should have travel stickers all over them.
Well, where have you been?
Yeah.
Been to places you've never been.
Ever.
Yeah. They've seen the Rocky Mountains and
they
West
went to
Coast.
Washington, Idaho, Nebraska, Utah. I mean, I don't know.
Well, I had a few suitcases, I think, go a few places when I was traveling.
Yeah.
It was always like, I remember one time.
Okay, I have butter in here, and I'm going to put some mushrooms and onions, okay? I have 6 ounces of mushrooms and a cup of onions.
This pastor had to take me to buy some pajamas.
Oh, no.
That's embarrassing. And then they bring your
funny.
suitcase at 4 o'clock at night. In the morning, you think, I'm not opening a door.
Right?
In the motel at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, my gosh.
So, anyway.
It makes you wonder, really, how any of the luggage gets anywhere when you see them traipsing out all that luggage.
A lot of miracles
especially
there.
when you're like changing airplanes and everything. Like, really, how does it ever make it there?
Yeah.
So,
and it does most of the time, so we
yeah.
can be thankful.
So a lot of, I don't think I've ever had the luggage issue, but man, my curtains.
Well, there's probably a reason for it, and I bet it's to do with technology.
Yeah, probably. I'm
Something
sure.
that should have scanned it.
And yes, probably, yes. Now, this can be made with flank steak,
Yes.
okay? We're always looking for a frugal conscience, idea, so we used ground beef. Sometimes I'll get beef stew meat, and I'll put it in the crock pot with some beef broth and let it, like, melt in your mouth tender once you crock pot it all day in some beef. And I did that just the last time I made it, and it was delicious.
Well, this is beginning to smell really good.
So there's many ways you can do it. Okay, so let this cook a little bit longer, but I'm going to move along, okay? So I have a 1/4 cup of flour, which is going to make a nice little thickening roux with the butter that was in there. I'm just going to cook this for a second. We have a cup of sour cream. We have 2 cups of beef broth. I have some noodles that we already cooked, and then you're just chopping up some parsley for me. Plus, we had the ground.
Yeah, and it's for, just make it look prettier.
Because you eat what? With your eyes before you eat with your mouth. So you want it to be nice.
That's very true.
You want it to be pretty.
And when you go to a really high-end restaurant once in a while, the presentations make a difference.
They really do. It does.
They put these little things around the
Yes,
plate.
it makes it beautiful. Okay, 2 cups of beef broth. And we warm this up a little bit so we can
taste it.
faster. Yeah, and then we have salt and pepper.
And it asks for this many noodles. That
Yeah,
looks
I don't
like a
know if
lot
I'm
of
going to put
noodles.
that many,
Yeah.
so we'll see.
That's 12 ounces,
Yeah.
and it looks like a lot.
Yeah, that's salt and pepper, and then I'm going to put a
Sour
cup of
cream.
sour cream, which yummy.
Which is really what sets the stroganoff aside.
Yes, yes.
Apart from other kinds of
Yeah.
beef
Sometimes at
dishes.
home, if I don't have sour cream, I'll use cream and mushroom soup.
Does that work good?
Yeah, for the consistency and flavor, yes. It doesn't, of course, taste like sour cream, but it's really
Of
good.
course,
I'm gonna
we
put the beef in.
pre-cook the meat for
Yep.
the constraints of time.
Yes, because we have a great guest to get to, so I'm cranking this up.
Okay, it's March now, and I think the first program we made after Christmas of last year, you had already purchased some gifts. Have you?
I am on a roll this year.
You really?
Okay, see, breast cancer took me out of my normal routine. I had to just deal
Right.
with that. I couldn't deal with everything else. But now I'm done. I'm healed. I'm cancer free. It's time to get back at it. So I'm on a roll this year.
You are?
Oh, I am. And I'm ordering very personalized, personal gifts for people.
Gosh, she's an
that mean
inspiration.
something. Yes. My son served in the Army, so I always try to get him something. And I found this amazing pen that is a bullet that they'll engrave his name in and his rank and all.
Yeah,
Stuff like that. So I am on a roll this year. So
There's
yes.
something about a personalized gift that they've put some thought into.
And I am trying to take every single person, and I have my Christmas list, and I'm trying to think of them and what they love and what they love
And
to
we're
do.
about 2.5 months into the year.
Yes, so I'm on a roll this year. I'm excited.
I'm getting inspired. Are
Yes.
you, Brooke?
Yes.
Brooke's
I
getting
am.
inspired.
Oh, we got to go. Here. Okay, I talked way too much this time. Let me just put a little bit of noodles in here for you so you can taste
Okay.
it. You talk about Christmas and I lose all train, all thought.
Well, I think you might be inspiring a lot of the viewers. I'm inspired, I tell you.
Bam.
There we go.
There you go.
That's not presentation.
Yeah.
No, we'll have to work on that.
We had to hurry. So.
Yeah, we got to hurry. Oh, it
So good, right?
tastes like the real
it
good.
smells so good in here.
No, it tastes like that really good beef stroganoff that
Yep.
you had. And I'm throwing food all over the
Yeah.
place.
Even with beef, even with just the ground beef. I mean, you could do steak, you could do, but even with the ground beef, it tastes really good.
And that cuts your cost a lot. It's delicious. So it's called Easy Beef Stroganoff. We'll send it to you. All the information's come on your screen. Then I want you to meet Valerie. You're going to love her. I promise you.
If you would like a copy of today's recipe, you may receive it by contacting us through social media as listed on the screen. When requesting a copy through the mail, be sure to include a self-addressed stamped envelope. Thank you, and please know we always appreciate hearing from our viewers.
Okay, I am very, very happy to introduce to you Valerie Ellis, and she's the founder of the Wheel Ministry, WHEEL. Do you want to tell us what each letter stands for?
Sure. WHEEL is an acronym for Women Helping Each Other Enter Life. You know,
Perfect.
I think I messed up the each other, made a word out of it, but it fit. You
Yes,
know, and I
it
couldn't think
does.
of anything more appropriate.
Yes. Would you just tell the viewers your story? Because sometimes, not sometimes, very, very often, parents, whether they mean to or not, set you up for a very dysfunctional life.
Amen.
And is that what happened to you, basically?
Basically, I was born in 1948, so you have to look at the era and the time. 1 month after my mother turned 15, you know, was when I was born. And of course, she was unmarried, so that made me what is known as a bastard back there during that time. So
Right.
it was a lot of pressure, especially in filling out anything in school, like your mother's name, father's name, guardian's name. All these names were different from my name, you know. So it was an apologetic beginning, you know.
Yes.
I've been in the streets since I was 14 years old, learning different things out there because my grandmother worked from dark 30 in the morning until dark 30 at night. My mother was still growing up. She was a child herself. So,
So was the mother in the home with you
no,
and the grand?
no, it was my
So
grandmother.
your grandmother.
Just my grandmother, right. And like I said, she worked from dark 30 in the morning to dark 30
Dark
at
30.
night. So television was my babysitter. You know, I would look at a program and say, wow, if they hadn't done that this way, they'd have gotten away. So mentality.
You had that kind of a mind.
Yeah,
I've met
my
people
mindset.
like that.
Exactly.
Yeah, oh,
you have
they
to
do
be
this,
careful
they-
what your children watch
Yes.
on television.
Yes.
This was my
Because it's in some ways that can be a gift.
Exactly. So it was strange because in school I was an honor student. Went to church. My grandmother was Baptist. My grandmother's boyfriend, who I thought was my grandfather for the longest time, was Catholic. So I was in mass because he was a custodian every morning. In other words, church was fundamental and foundational, but I didn't have a relationship. You know, I just went because you go to school Monday through Friday. You went to church on Sundays. You know, so but it was as far as that went with me. I didn't know what it was to have a relationship with God or know Him as a personal Savior. So life was up and down like a yo-yo. You know, I had this. When I went to college on a scholarship, in order to support myself with books and everything else like that, I was hustling pool. So they had a area in
You were a good
Tallahassee.
pool player?
Very good pool player. But I looked so innocent that I used to hustle pool, you know, what you call trim the players.
Okay, you got to educate me because I've heard of hustlers.
Right.
What do they do?
Well, you go in pretending that you don't know very little about the game, and you kind of inspire it by putting your money out there with it, and you know,
Then you
you're
beat the
betting on each
socks off?
shot. Exactly. You just clean their clock by cleaning the table off. If you ever get a chance to shoot the ball, nobody else ever gets another chance because you're so precise in what you're doing.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was a way of making my father proud of me, you know, because I wanted his approval.
Now, your parents never lived together.
No, never did. My father was a leader of a notorious gang in Tampa, and so I learned all of the street crimes. You know, all of the things, how to till tap, shoot dice.
What's till tap?
Till tap is stealing money out of a cash register, getting the clerk to turn away. It was a educational precision in what was being done. You were educated in this, getting them to turn their attention away from it, and then another person would come behind and be able to take the money out of the drawer without anybody ever knowing it. These were skills of mine.
Skills of crime.
Skills of crime. I was so hardened because I realized that no one could hurt me unless I allowed them to get close to me. So I didn't allow anyone to get close to me. I had ice water running through my veins, basically. And so I developed a nickname. I didn't develop it. I was given a nickname, Sister Lowdown, because I was so cold. I had men who were afraid of me. and you know, in and out of jails, in and out of prison. It was.
Do they get you for hustling?
No.
Is that a crime?
No. Getting caught is the crime. Okay. So, I mean, if I was to do time for all the things I've ever done, I would never get out of prison. You know, but I did get caught or rescued, I'd say, not arrested, from time to time.
Yes.
But it was the last time. I was sent to Gaston Correctional. It was a private prison. And it was a brand new prison just opening. They haven't even got the gates up yet. And so all of the people that worked there had never worked in the prison system before, including the chaplain. I was assigned to the chapel as a chapel clerk. I would have preferred they put me in the kitchen cleaning pots rather than that, because by now I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'd tried this before. I'd gone to church when I was incarcerated. I loved the concept. But when I went out and was talking about how much I was saved, people said, oh, that's that jailhouse religion. And no one believed me. And I was trying to convince people that I was changed. So I gave up trying. I said, oh, well, you know, I guess it doesn't work for me. It doesn't apply to me. I'm just, you know,
But God
I don't
placed
think God.
you in that chaplain's
Exactly,
office.
exactly. This woman, God used her to educate me. I got to know him, you know, through New Christian Development class, ministerial development class, a Ministry of Helps class. We had shut-ins, we had revivals. All of this was just educating me. I had like a Paul experience. You know, some people went to the altar because they realized they needed a Savior. I never did that. God realized that I didn't have enough sense to come to him. So on May 20th, 1997, in a deliverance service, without my permission, she touched me. And when she touched me, the hand of God just embraced me at that time. And I had an experience like Paul on the road to Damascus. I encountered God, and I knew it was God. You know, I came back to myself, so to speak, knowing I was saved, I was sanctified, I was fire baptized, and I was filled with the Holy Ghost. You know,
And you were healed of all addictions.
all addictions.
How long had you smoked?
Oh, 30 years. 30
Gone
years.
like that.
Gone like that. Addicted to everything. You know, I've done everything from smoking marijuana to shooting heroin, to crack cocaine, freebasing. Every drug you can think of, I've experienced with it. Alcohol. I was an alcoholic, everything. And on May 20th, 1997, I was delivered.
Praise God.
I was delivered from all of that. I had a locker full of cigarettes because I used to crochet, and that was my way of bartering while I was in prison. So I could make this for 2 packs, I'd make that for 5. Oh, you my friend, I'd do that for 1. So I had all these things because no one sent me money while I was incarcerated. One time I broke down and asked my grandmother to send me $5. She said, well, what do you need money in prison for? They feed you, and this is the perfect time for you to stop smoking. So you'll be all right, you know. So I was livid because I had bought houses and cars and rings and minks and for all of these people, and nobody wanted to send me money. I was so angry. But
Did
then,
anybody come to see you?
no, I had no visitations or anything. You know, they were part of society, and what got me was I didn't understand why I was this way. I didn't want to be this person. I didn't want them to be ashamed of me. When everybody was bragging about what their child was doing, what could they possibly say about me? You know, so all of these things were like a bag that I carried with me always. But I was set free. First time I experienced freedom was while I was locked up, while I was incarcerated.
Now, you mentioned to me before the show that your sentence was 35 years and 35
I was sentenced
years
to 30.
probation?
I was sent. The man in front of me got sentenced to 6 months house arrest for sexually molesting a 6-year-old child. I went in. This was uttering a forged instrument, and got 35 years prison sentence, followed by 25 years probation. They had done a PSI, and in this PSI, pre-sentence investigation, they discovered that Salvatore Trafficani was my godfather. Well, my grandfather was the Bolita man in Tampa. You know, there was numbers or whatever you call it. So all of the crime family was my family. You know, but I didn't know anything that they knew, but they really thought that the crime that I did, because there were no victims involved, that it had to be organized crime. Surely this little black girl didn't think of all of this all by herself, you know, so they say, well, you give us names and, you know, we'll lighten your sentence. I didn't have any names, but me with my slick mouth said, well, Your Honor, I row my boat along. He said, well, row it down this 35-year stream and then paddle back up with this 25 years worth of probation I'm giving you. It was like, oh my God. The bailiff, you know, you have to be fingerprinted going back. He had tears in his eyes. You know, I said, what did you say? You know, because I was cold, numb, stunned,
Yeah.
stunned that I was given this kind of a sentence. But I was. And so I went to prison. And like I said,
where
5
you-
years into this sentence, I was set free. I was set free.
And then at what point did you get out?
Well, I was sent to work release, and I was wondering, how are they sending me to work release? Because I got about a Buck Rogers date. I know I got at least about 29 more years to do on this sentence. Went to work release. Somehow it was a big mass mix-up. I ended up being at Lowell now at this time, so I went into the chapel and volunteered there. They had the young kids, as young as 13 years old and up, they had were calling me Mama Val because I was like a mother figure to them because they didn't have anything to do. So I started teaching. I formed a choir, a step team. We had poets, and it was encouraging them with programs that we would have.
A lot of uneducated.
A lot of uneducated children, a lot of uneducated women.
Yes.
You know, so to speak. And this chaplain didn't come to work one day, and I gave my trial sermon at the prison.
Oh, you gave a sermon?
Yeah. I got up there, and with the chapel full, and visitors were there and everything. And God had just began to use me. You know, with my experience, there was nothing you could tell me that I hadn't done or had, whatever. So I didn't hold pity parties or didn't allow anybody to justify, well, because of this, I can't possibly do this. If God can save me, if he can reach this far down to get me, there's nothing impossible for God. And so that's my message when I go back.
Yes, you truly do have a Saul on the road to Damascus, Paul testimony. I wanted to ask you, I've been in these, they were all males, San Quentin, Leavenworth, and places like that. What's the difference in a man's prison and a woman's, do you think?
Well, I've had guards tell me they'd rather work at a men's prison anytime.
Really?
Women are so clingy and needy, and we're manipulative.
That's interesting.
It really is. Women, it's different in the fact that men can go and take a shower and still be a man, no matter what he does. There's a stigma involved when a woman goes to prison, because we're not supposed to.
That's right.
We are the matriarchs of the family.
And we're soft. And
Yes. So the children involved, people were involved, and so it's just not the woman. So there's so much more involved with a woman going to prison.
different psychology.
Yeah, and once upon a time, like I said, prison was for rehabilitation. There's no rehabilitation now, so they sit there and vegetate.
I can tell I'm going to have you back, but I want you to tell us, because we're going to run out of time, I want you to tell us about your ministry, because I just felt that she didn't want to talk about herself, but I said there's nothing like testimony. And this is the groundwork. This is the foundation.
Amen.
This is why you can go in and really relate to all of them when other women could not.
Amen.
So you really kind of tend to all the women's prisons in the
I go in,
state?
and I'm an evangelist. I've got license as an evangelist. So I go in and take the word of God there in a relatable way. As a person who is set where you're sitting.
Yes.
And now, look at me, and if he could do it for me, he's no respecter of persons, so he could certainly do it for you. But I noticed there was a need for when women were released, where did they go? What did they do? So there's a need for transitional housing for women when they come out, not just to provide a bed, but to provide fundamental things like education. There are women right now who don't know how to write a check, once more balance a checkbook. They don't know how to budget a household or shop, to get food stamps, but they don't know how to shop for food or what to buy or how to raise their children. So if I could get partnered with different organizations like Publix or Amazon or different things all around, the universities, and let them provide the education that these women need, come in and with the anger management, life skills, vocational training, electricians, plumbing, all of these things, all of these skills, and get the community to start being involved, because we are involved. Because if we don't do something to rehabilitate this, we're going to be paying for it in the long run as a society. So we need to have something that would train and allow these people this transitional period to be educated, to be profitable members of society.
Do you know the average age?
The average age, it goes anywhere from, I say, 15 up to 88.
There are women that old.
There are women there. I go early when I go on the second Sundays to Lowell because there's an eye dorm there, and there are women who are wheelchair, hospital, infirmary bound. They can't go to the chapel because they don't have wheelchair access. So I go in there and pray for them. They're sick and shut in. Mental. They put a lot of people with mental disease in prison.
Yes.
You know, and prisons aren't equipped to cater to these people.
Right.
So these people come out worse than when they went in. You know, there's just a need.
Okay, the teenage girls, they've probably stolen things or been in drugs or something.
Killed.
What's their killed?
You know, we have the young people now with violence on television. Life is not respected.
Yeah.
They don't. There's nothing. You know, they feel some type of honor or some kind of badge or something they get when they know that they are capable of killing somebody or of hurting somebody really desperately.
What would be this probably can't really be answered, but if you got teenagers in there, say up to 15, 16, about what level of education do they have?
Well, they provide GED for them. They have what is known as youthful offenders. So they keep them sort of separated. You know, they provide programs for them, sort of like a drill camp.
Yes.
You know, or things like that. They have a regimen for them, you know, but you have to keep busy, you know. And so like Pride is another thing that's in some of the prisons that have factory training, you know, and things like that. But mostly it's educational, and then they have Go Lab, like growth orientation, you know, in there. But there's very little.
There are a
past
lot
that.
of anger?
But a lot of anger because there's a lot of confusion.
Yes.
How do you turn this around? Who do you go to?
Yeah.
You know, how do you become what you've never experienced? You know, so there is, a lot of anger.
Yes, and that's where the gospel comes in.
Exactly.
Like you
Exactly.
you never knew what it was to really have a mother or a father.
No.
There were human beings there, but they didn't know anything about parenting.
No.
That whole chip is just missing
Amen.
from your life.
Amen.
But Jesus can come in and fill it up.
Yes.
We are just out of time, but I do want you to come back because it seems like the Lord has put prison ministries on our ministry. You know, we have Carol Kent on here once a month, and we talk about prison ministries because Jesus said, you know, I was in prison and you didn't visit me. That's a sad, sad commentary.
Amen.
And I think that through this program, we are doing a lot of visiting through different ways. We may not be there physically, but I know that you wonderful folks out there have blessed the efforts that Carol Kent and I have talked about. And Valerie is just really giving us a brand new view of the women's ministries, and she'll be back, and I'll be back too. But until then, remember, there's no higher calling than that of a homekeeper. God bless you.
If you should miss a Homekeepers program, you can catch up by going to www.ctnonline.com. Click on CTN Programs and then on Homekeepers.